When ethnicity clash with ethnicity, the society suffers. The politics of regional loyalty, leadership, failure, and Showore's relentless attacks on President Tinubu is a call to reflection. In Nigeria, politics is never just politics. It is an emotional battlefield shaped by history, tribe, loyalty, scars, and old alliances. It is a country where the average citizen carries two identities, the national identity and ethnic identity. And these two often clash whenever a leader from their region rises to power. From the north to the south, east or west, one truth remains constant. Nigerians defend their own, and even when the truth is inconvenient. Let us listen to Sheikh Husani here, and I'll be back.
When President Muhammadu Buhari was holding the reins of leadership in this country, many people from this part of the country kept quiet while our people were killed, while our people were kidnapped. Any voice that spoke out against killings, against kidnapping, was tagged as an enemy. I can remember a traditional ruler in Katsina was even suspended for raising issues of insecurity in this country. For the 8 years which he held reign of leadership in this country, he strategically appointed northerners to occupy key positions. Were they able to solve the problem? No. It's a fact of history that many people decided to keep quiet at that very time because they believed that the person in the position of authority and power was from our own part of the country, and we shouldn't be seen to be damaging his image, his reputation, or the administration, which we believe is our own. Here we are as a country today, victims of violence, of bloodshed, of attack, are demanding for more action on the side of government to end this carnage, to end this bloodshed. But there are political forces from this part of the country who think differently, that this is an opportunity for them to hit on the government and to capture state power. So political power is more important to them than the lives of our people.
Sani also took aim at former Kaduna Governor Nasir El-Rufai over recent claims that over ₦1 billion was paid to bandits by the current administration.
And it's even there in video where he, on up to appeasing bandits in Kaduna State under order to launch attacks. So he's the engineer, he's the architect, he is the author of conditional cash transfer to bandits, if there is any person like that, if there is any word like that you can use. Since the coming of Governor Obasani, yes, we cannot say we have 100% peace and security in Kaduna State. There are pockets of attacks still going on in some specific points within the state. But you cannot compare the relative peace, stability, and calmness we have now with the terror and bloodshed that happened when Nasir was the governor of Kaduna State.
This phenomenon has shaped every administration since independence. It influences elections, determines the tone of public debate, and dictates who gets praised or condemned. As President Ahmed Tinubu leads Nigeria through one of its most difficult economic moments, the same dynamic has resurfaced. Regional defense on one side and harsh ideological criticism on the other, led by personalities like Omorele Sowore. This raises a critical question: where should loyalty end, and where should ethical accountability begin? The Nigerian reality is that situation when a leader's failures are excused because he is our son. That is common. One cannot fully understand Nigerian politics without acknowledging the deep power of ethnic sentiment. Over the years, we have seen northern protection of Buhari as seen in that very video of this thing, despite widespread complaints about insecurity. You heard it from Shehu Sani, Eastern attachment to Jonathan, even when his administration was heavily criticized. Western defense of Obasanjo, and now, in some instances, despite hardship, they still support for Tinubu. This loyalty is not accidental. It comes from historical wounds. Talking about Nigerian civil war, decades of mistrust, and a history of marginalization have made many ethnic groups defensive. When someone from their part or region gets into power, there is an instinctive push to protect him, whether right or wrong. And then this fear of regional loss. Some people believe criticism weakens their region's tone. And at the national table, so they do everything to protect it. Collective survival mindset as well. Where government presence is weak, people cling to ethnic identity for protection. But the downside is glaring. Blind loyalty bets weak accountability. Weak accountability bets bad leadership. At the end of the day, hunger does not know tribe. Inflation does not ask for ethnic identity. Fuel price does not discriminate between Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, or Ijaw. When governance fails, everyone suffers. This is the ethical crisis Nigeria must confront. Tinubu and the burden of regional support as his government progresses calls to question. President Tinubu came into power with the full backing of the Southwest. Even now, many Yoruba leaders defend him with a level of passion that shuts down internal criticism. This does not mean their support is baseless. Tinubu's political structure is undeniably strong. His strategic influence is unquestionable, and his capacity for negotiation is remarkable. But the challenge is that regional loyalty sometimes blurs objective evaluation. His supporters argue and make excuses that they say, allow him time. He inherited a broken economy. He is a master planner. But the opponents argue otherwise. To them, they say his policies are too harsh. He is too slow with relief measures. The suffering is real. So, which one do you listen to? Nigerians sit in between these arguments, searching for a balance between loyalty and truth. But in the light of all these arguments, Sowore, the fiery critic who refuses to back down, sees things differently. For over a decade, Sowore has stood as one of Nigeria's most aggressive political critics, from Jonathan to Buhari to Tinubu now. His attacks never cease. To some Nigerians, he is a hero of democracy. But to others, he is a perpetual agitator who cannot separate activism from hostility. Showore's criticism of President Tinubu is not new. Their political rivalry dates back to Lagos, long before national politics brought their conflict into the spotlight. But the intensity of Showore's attacks has raised eyebrows. Why is his criticism always personal? Let us watch some of his criticism against Mr. President here.
The Tinubu regime came to bury Nigeria after Buhari killed it. And people are still playing along with them. I don't know what is wrong with Nigerians. We are not playing. That's why we are not engaging in all this side hanky-panky about protests. When we are ready and when Nigerians are ready, we are interested in a revolution. We have made that very clear. Because that's what can end this nonsense in our body politic. You have all these military generals who don't go to war. And it's only in Nigeria that somebody who has never fought a war before will become a general in the army. Based on the number of traditional rulers he knows or the GO of his church, that's how they become generals in Nigeria, not because they go to war. If you see an Israeli general, it's because he has fought a war before. If you see an American general, he has been to Afghanistan, he has fought in Iraq, even though those wars might be wrong. But they have gone to war. But in Nigeria, you call these businessmen generals, they are all building estates in Abuja. They don't go to the war front. They don't know what's going on there. They are the ones who are happy that the insecurities are coming. You ask army to be doing traffic work. It's the Nigerian government that refused to release Nnamdi Kanu, something that would have solved a big problem. And then instead of releasing him, you go and put army in the east. Every kilometer in the east, there are army checkpoints. But after 100 kilometers in the north, you can't find the army. There was a man in Katsina who said there are only 5 guns in the local government in Katsina state. And most importantly, legitimate leadership is important. When you don't vote for people and they lord themselves over you, you don't respect them. The president never told you he will be in the country because he never campaigned to be president of Nigeria. It was INEC that imposed him on you. We told you when he was coming to office that the man is sick. Nobody listened to us. They even sang a song, Baba is sick and he's falling apart. Nobody listened to us. We told you that he's coming to govern Nigeria with his family. You didn't listen to us. Now that he's in power, we are calling him president. And now that he doesn't govern from Abuja, he's governing on WhatsApp. You are worried about it. Start listening to what we tell you so that when the problem comes, you not keep asking us the same question over and over again. And I have told you before that the people who claim to be governing Nigeria now never fought for democracy. I was the one who told you that Tinubu was selling drugs. In Chicago in 1993, when we were fighting for democracy with Abiola here in Nigeria. This country is finished. But how can you blame police when Tinubu himself will be president? Na thief, na forger, nobody know his age, nobody know where he go school, nobody know his classmate. Simon Law still go school now, people know him for law school. Tinubu, where he go school? In this court, and I'm saying it without any hesitation, when I was charged for treason, the judge was caught reading WhatsApp message over my bail condition. It's 2019.
All right, sir.
Yes.
Tinubu is a criminal. Has caused a lot of controversy between you and the APC. Yeah. And some are saying you have no right to declare that some because you are not in the court of law to say somebody is a criminal until proven as guilty. You cannot, and that is the reason why the Nigerian government is going ahead to fight this with you. So what would you say if somebody, for example, accuses Sowore and says Sowore is a criminal? What does this say to you?
Do you know what I'll tell you? Of all the people that are complaining about this, my calling Tinubu criminal, Tinubu himself has never complained. Has never complained. Till tomorrow. And he has spoken to the media since then. He has traveled abroad. He has a TV station. He has several radio stations. He has a newspaper, The Nation. He has never complained. That I call. Why is everybody, you know what the Yorubas call Boromi Deleru? The man who was called a criminal has not complained. The rest of you are saying, why do you call? So let the man come out. And that's what I told the DSS as well. You have no right to take me to court on his behalf. He's here in Nigeria. Let us go to court.
Yes, the situation is personal.
And if you come to court on his behalf, don't come and tell me that he cannot enter the door, that he has immunity. Because he's my number one witness. All right. And that's why the man is not complaining. I think you take that home. Thank you very much.
You worked with your platform. You did a lot of expose that favored those who were close to him, and those who are feeling that,
no, they say, see,
at the time that you were, in fact, there are those who said that you did a lot of stuff for the likes of Amechi, you did a lot of stuff against the government at the time.
So, in fact, one of the biggest works I did was against Tinubu. In 2008, his drug story, history from that Chicago, United States court in Chicago, I was the one who first got a copy of it and published online. The entire drug court case.
Sowore,
yes.
How does it look that you hate Tinubu so much?
No, I don't. See, I'm just explaining to. I don't hate any one of them.
Why do you dislike him?
I hate their politics. I won't deny that. I hate the fact that they are direct opposite of what they've ever promised to be.
The question is this: why does he attack policies, personality, background, and political journey all at the same time? How does he do it all at once? At what point does activism cross the line into obsession? A democracy needs critics, but critics must also show fairness, objectivity, and responsibility. When criticism becomes a daily crusade of insults, Nigerians begin to question the motive behind it, especially those done to a sitting president. We must realize that the image of the country is at stake. This is where many analysts argue that Sowore's tone has become too extreme and sometimes counterproductive. The argument will not balance without mentioning the Nnamdi Kanu factor. Is it ideology or selective advocacy when he's always out for Nnamdi Kanu? Sowore's vocal support for the release of Nnamdi Kanu has further intensified debate around his activism. Many see this as ideological alignment with human rights principles. Others view it as inconsistency, questioning why Sowore appears more passionate about certain national issues than others. Many critics are beginning to question his ethnicity. Some see him more as an Igbo man than a Yoruba man. What some of his actions here in support of Nnamdi Kanu?
There are Yoruba activists who went and invaded a radio station in Ibadan. Have you heard about them anymore? Even Sunday Igboho, my brother, is back. He's actually, he's moving around freely. Nnamdi Kanu has never carried a weapon before. Most of these guys have done things like that. Why are we treating the Igbo man differently? And I'm not saying that to whip up something, because I'm ashamed, of course, of these Southeastern leaders. Because when I was on your show last time, you remember, I was saying that Nnamdi Kanu is being kept in detention deliberately by Southeastern politicians. They showed themselves in the last few days. The deputy speaker was asking people not to join peaceful protests. All the governors kept quiet about it. The Ohaneze Ndigbo person, I heard is a wicked version of Ohaneze Ndigbo. He's saying that nobody should go out to fight for the freedom of a person who is innocent of any crime. And we are here saying it is normal. It is normal.
Before we go, I would like to ask you this. I see you in court. I see videos of you in court every time Nnamdi Kanu appears in court. And his case has lingered for too long and so long. Shouldn't we be talking about a political solution now to resolve all of these and probably give closure to the people of the Southeast and maybe peace too?
The Kanu situation didn't need to last one day longer than the day Buhari left. Kanu was Buhari's personal prisoner because those people, the Buharis of this world, believe that Nigeria is a real estate that must be held together, it must be united. But you would think that people who claim they have broad minds about what Nigeria is, the diversity of Nigeria, the crisis, is the first person they would have done. The first person they would have let go is Nnamdi Kanu, because didn't we let go Sunday Igboho? Are we not? Have we burned down Yoruba land? Before Buhari left, I was one of the people fighting for Ezaki. The arguments by those who were opposed to his release was that if he come, he will burn down Kaduna. Zaki's been out of jail now for how long? He doesn't even have time for Nigeria. He has become an international ambassador for Nigeria. He goes to Lebanon, Iran. I've seen him in Iraq. He has not had time to even rebuild his area base. That shows.
Those of you who are also around, who know my commitment in recent times with Nnamdi Kanu, we are fighting to ensure that he's not scapegoated to keep Nigeria one. To keep Nigeria one requires justice, not life imprisonment or death sentence. Being born in Nigeria is already death sentence. So nobody can scare me with death sentence. The moment you are born in this country, you have been sentenced to death, either by default or by accident. And being unable to eat, feed, have a roof over your head, and not be able to send your children to school, not to be able to live secure life, that is life imprisonment, in case you don't know. So Kanu is not going to suffer anything that has not suffered before. All these things they are doing, they have done it before, it didn't work. They did it with Kensariwa. He told them, he said, I'm going to be the last person who will deal with you people in a reasonable way. After Kensariwa was killed, they know what they lost to Niger Delta militants. Maybe Kanu is the last person from Igbo land who will speak the language of peace and the right to self-determination. The next generation may not do that. And there's nothing anybody can do about that. And we are saying that here in Kaduna, where they need to listen to it. And I apologize to those of you in Kaduna who were expecting us when we were doing free Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, let me announce today, we are going to announce a series of action on free Nnamdi Kanu again. And we'll go all over the country. Yes. And this time we are not going to do one day. We are not going to do one day. We are going to do a whole week of series of action. Yes. Because these people need to be taught a lesson that the country belongs to all of us.
However, the truth is simple. Supporting Nnamdi Kanu on legal and humanitarian grounds does not redefine Sowore's ethnicity or identity. It only reflects his political ideology, whether people agree with it or not. Still, his selective passion raises questions about motives, fairness, and the balance of activism. Nevertheless, the bigger question is, where is the ethical middle ground in all of this? Nigeria desperately needs citizens who support leaders based on performance, not tribe. Critics who attack policies, not personalities. Activists who fight for justice without fueling division. Leaders who welcome criticism without weaponizing ethnicity. Regional loyalty that complements national unity, not undermines it. Both extremes are dangerous for our democracy and the country at large. We must realize that blind support destroys accountability. Bitter criticism destroys cohesion. The nation is trapped between these extremes, and only balanced, ethical engagement can save Nigeria's political future. Nigeria needs a new political culture, a culture where truth weighs more than tribal sentiment, a culture where performance matters more than origin, a culture where critics build the nation, not burn it, where leaders unite the region, not exploit it, where citizens demand accountability without being labeled enemies of their tribe. Nigeria will rise when we choose ethics over ethnicity, responsibility over rivalry, and objective truth over blind settlement. Until then, public discourse will continue to swing between regional defense of leaders and relentless criticism from activists like Sowore, each pulling from opposite ends, while Nigerians stand at the center, yearning for balance, peace, and progress.